My name is JohnBull Igwe. I am an ICT expert and also an author. I have specialty on artificial intelligence, robotics, and business automation. I was nominated and awarded the 2024 African Young Tech CEO of the Year. Yeah, it feels good. I feel good that I was actually nominated because of my work. I've been in the tech space for like 20 years plus. So I think they actually saw my projects and then things I've done in the system, and then they gave me that award. So it was an awesome experience. You know, in tech, you don't just go into tech and without making impact. So over time, I've actually built a very strong client base. Because you cannot run a successful business without having a good clientele. So because of what we've done over the years, we've been able to build a very strong clientele, providing tech solutions to organizations. And then, because everybody is actually linked to one business or the other, right? Even if you sleep in your house, right? There is a business that you are linked to, because that food you are eating is a business that is supplying it to you. There's one businessman, one businesswoman that is providing that service, that is making it to get to your house. So having served the oil and gas sector, the public sector, and the different private sectors. So I've been able to make a very strong impact, by rendering quality service to corporate organizations. I think all this put together was what actually creates that awareness and then the recognition that offered me this awesome award. I think I actually wrote about this in one of my books. Back in 2002, I watched the World Cup finals. Before now, I had the opportunity when I was in secondary school to actually learn computers. When the organizers came to our school back then, they told us that by the time we are done with the training, that we are going to become a computer wizards. So being a church boy back then, I had the notion that computer wizard means evil. So that was what actually made me not to start the tech journey back then in secondary school, when I would have gotten that knowledge for free. But during that 2002 World Cup finals, at the end of the game, they were now showing the backstage, the setup, the way you guys set up here. So the young boys and young girls that were operating these devices, the cameras, the switchers, the controllers that covered the whole event. So when I saw these young people, I was now like, what kind of course would one study in school that would qualify someone to have such knowledge to be able to handle this? And so when I made my research, I found out it was either computer science or electrical electronics engineering. So when I started pursuing my university career, I went for computer science. Okay, so at the end of the day, I graduated as a computer science student, and then I furthered and I went for an MBA. I got my MBA with an American university, Next 4 University, where I did artificial intelligence, robotics, and automation. I was actually inspired by the accessibility, the functionality, and the ease of doing business and doing things with tech. So that was what actually inspired me to go into tech, and I've been doing it for over 2 decades to date. We still have a long way to go, because in Nigeria especially, we have some setbacks, a lot of setbacks that is coming from our system. So our government has not fully, taken that responsibility to invest in tech, because tech is like the new oil. If in data alone, tech has different sections, different categories, but only data alone, data can become the new oil in this country if our government can put in that little effort and invest in data and then in tech. in one of my books too that I wrote, where that a book I titled the Global Room. Back then we were calling the internet, the internet is a computer village. This particular acronym was coined by someone that is called Marshall McLuhan. So because of the connectivity that the internet brings, the ease of communication, so he now say that, oh, the internet is a computer village, because in a village circle, you can actually interact with people, as if, you are in a village settings, but the advent of artificial intelligence, robotics, Web3, and Internet of Things have further congested that space from the village settings now to a room. Because in this room, while we're here in this interview, people could be watching us all over the world in their rooms. So that was why I wrote that book and I titled it The Global Room. So the internet is no longer a global village, but now a global room, because our devices can now communicate with themselves. You can communicate with your TV, you can communicate with your fan, with your ACs. That is Internet of Things. So this is what Internet of Things has been able to do for us. Then with Web3, we can now carry out financial activities without needing a commercial bank. Okay? Then when it comes to artificial intelligence, we can now communicate, effectively and freely, because with AI, you can enable your business on the internet, you can enable your devices, and then begin to do some marvelous things. When you now move it to robotics, where you have devices doing work for you and then all that effortlessly, So, but the Nigerian system and Africa, we are still lagging behind, because there has not been a major investment in this particular sector. Because if we begin to invest in tech in this country, a lot of things we struggle in this country will all go away. Okay, so we don't need to depend on oil alone. We have tech and increase our GDP. So our government should look forward to investing in tech. It's not just about buying infrastructure. Invest in human capital development, develop the youth. There are a lot of youth here and there carrying laptops and doing some things. Invest, bring them together, and then train them on some meaningful things that will make them to become resourceful to the system. 9 to 5 jobs. Have you ever seen any billionaire that made the Forbes that was a 9 to 5er? No. So the 9 to 5 job is never sustainable. Okay, salary can never sustain you to become self-reliant, because the salary is never enough. Okay, for instance, take Nigeria, for instance, our minimum wage is 70,000 naira. How much is a bag of rice? A full bag of rice is about 100 to 120,000 naira. So imagine a full family man, right, doing a 9 to 5 job, and then he's earning 70,000 naira. How will he be able to, take care of his family? Okay, so the 9 to 5 job is not a bad thing, right? But once you start a 9 to 5 job, you need to have a side income, side hustle that will be generating some little amount of money. That was why I wrote in one of my books, The Gen Zers, that while you are doing your 9 to 5 job, you can be doing some little things on the internet that will be generating you some few dollars, right? Imagine if you are doing something online legitimately, right? It's not crime. Legitimately, you are doing something and you are making $50, $100, $200. By the time you change it to naira, you are going to be having a lot of money in your pocket. So the 9 to 5 job will never sustain, because there is nobody that the salary is ever enough for to run his life. Because by the time that salary is coming, you've already borrowed a lot of money, you have bought some things on credit and all that. So by the time the salary comes, you are using it to settle debts. And then you wait for another cycle. So you keep going like that. So the 9 to 5 is never sustainable. While you are at it, develop side skills, soft skills that will enable you to earn, side income added to your 9 to 5 salary. Tesla is a futuristic thinker. Okay, that is what most of our Nigerian entrepreneurs, like those big ones, that is one area they lack. Okay, everybody in Nigeria wants to build something around oil, around things that will just export and then bring money and But Tesla, Elon Musk is an upward thinker because the rate at which artificial intelligence and robotics is growing, in 10 years from now, there are things that we are doing now that we'll look back to, we'll begin to say, come, how were we able to even survive in this kind of thing? Like that is RoboCab. The RoboCab can take you from one place to another without any human interference. And that RoboCab can be charged wirelessly, right? So there are some misconception that yes, AI and robotics is going to take over human endeavors, right? That is also what I wrote in my book. I try to demystify that myth because imagine Tesla coming up with these robots. There is RoboCab, there is RoboBot, boss, and then there is this other robot that just helps you and does stuff for you, like maybe a maid, something you can start to call it a maid. So what it means is that while these machines are helping us to do some certain things, some repetitive jobs, right? We humans can now begin to focus on those areas that these robots and machines cannot work in. For instance, I also was able to outline the different kind of jobs that are in high demand now, because while the robots are taking over some jobs, they are also creating other jobs. Okay, so you need to position yourself to be able to fit in because the AI system is usually trained by humans. They don't train themselves. There is what is called structured training. Okay, so you train the AI system, the robot system, you build these machines, and then you service it. They cannot service themselves. So it is humans. So imagine if you used to be a mechanic before, like that services Honda, Mercedes, and all that, and then if you are an upward thinker and you see that everybody's going electric, what you need to do is to go and start learning how to repair electric cars, right? So that you will be relevant, because in 10 years time from now, we may not be able to be using combustion engine anymore. All this fuel that we are shouting around today, in 10 years from now, most cars will be electric. Inos already has an electric car. Okay, so imagine if everybody is driving electric car. Well, who would you be servicing a combustion engine for? So you need to always be upward thinking in everything you do. Okay, because if you don't, you will be left behind. Okay, now there is this saying, I actually have it in my book. If you are an employee, right, AI and robotics will not take your job, but someone who knows AI can take your job. It also applies to business people. If you are a business person, right, and you don't automate your business with ERP, with AI functionalities, some businesses that have automated their system, their business processes, can take your job from you, can take your customers from you. Because by the time I can just stay in my home and then apply to or place an order for a particular service, and this particular company can render it even without coming to my house or me going to their office. But you are saying, oh, I must come, right? So who do you think will have more customers? The person that is giving you that remote service. So if you don't automate your business processes, and another organization that have automated their business processes can take your job from you, right? So we need to all be upward thinking. We need to upskill in everything we are doing, whatever you are doing, because technology is running so fast today, more than what we used to have before. We're in what is called Industry 4.0. We've gone past Industry 1.0, 2, 3. Now this is Industry 4.0, and in 2045 or 2050, we'll be moving to Industry 5.0. So technology is driving so fast, so we need to run along with it, because if you don't run along, you will be left behind. Okay, although that particular fear is there, but in everything, there must always be a policy. guiding the whole system. So I believe with a very strong policy, these robots can be controlled, because we actually have what is called the general AI. That general AI is a particular AI that is meant to do everything, that is meant to think on its own, right? However, there is still a check mechanism that can be, implemented to put these systems in check. Okay, because robots, they only do what they are asked to do. Is a program, right? So they are programmed to do certain things. So the programmers also have the control to actually monitor this system, okay, and limit them to some certain things that they can do, right? So that particular fear is something that can be controlled with a very strong policy. The industry actually need to sit up and then implement those policies so that these machines will not go out of control. What Nigerians should expect from me going forward is that I will keep involving myself in technology, with coming up with major research masterpieces that will help our economy. Like for now, I can automate a school, to be able to run remotely and provide distance education. I can automate our government agencies. I can automate any organization, even hospitals, right, to be able to provide effective medical services. Okay, so I'm going to, keep, researching and coming up with products, that will be useful to Nigerians and the entire Africa at large. So Nigerians and Africans should expect a more robust solution that I will be, reeling out. I have about 2 more books I'm already writing, so I'm going to be putting my knowledge and my skills to be able to serve the society. So they should expect something great from me going forward. The message I have for the youths, the young generation, like the Gen Zs, is that they should slow down on the fun, because they have so much energy. This cohort, they have so much energy. My advice is that they should reduce that energy on fun and then go into meaningful projects that will stand the test of time. It's not just about making money today, driving the best of cars today, going to club and then popping champagnes, spraying money in millions. No, that is not the way to go, because that money you have today, before you know it, it will finish. So they should go into real investment, things that they can amass their knowledge, their skill in, to be able to come up with meaningful projects that will stand the test of time. So, because if you rely on quick money, the way it came, that's how it goes so fast. So, but by the time you put that money to work for you, those monies begin to make more money for you while you sleep. So tech is a very lucrative industry to go into as a young Nigerian, because we can begin to compete with the advanced countries. We can also go into other areas, agriculture, education, and all that. But at the end of the day, you can still use tech to drive these other sectors, banking, name it. Okay, whichever one, any industry you mention, you must have tech making a very strong impact in them. Okay, so young people should channel their energies on meaningful projects, things that will be sustainable, not just on frivolities and instant gratifications. They should go for delayed gratification, and then build a system that will be able to generate, lasting wealth for them. For Igbere TV, I would I will compliment you guys for the work you are doing, for identifying people who have made mark in the system, in the society. I will congratulate you for your effort. You are doing well. What I will advise is that you should keep pushing, keep going, and then keep upgrading your system, because what you are doing already, you're already in the limelight. Okay, because by the time you continue this for another 5 years, you would have affected so many lives. Imagine you sharing your proceeds with the less privileged IDP camps and then all that. Our system needs such gestures. Okay, so you are doing a good work. It's like the Lord's work, if we may say, right? So you should continue, and then don't relent. Keep upgrading. Keep upgrading in anything you're doing. Keep upgrading, and then begin to think how you can be, you can take your awards global. Well done. I appreciate.